Mixed Reality Toolkit, or MRTK, is a Microsoft-driven open source project that provides a set of building blocks for spatial interactions, rich UI, and other common challenges developers face when building MR applications. It's also cross-platform, supporting many devices from HoloLens to Meta Quest to Windows Mixed Reality headsets, and others. Now, you may be familiar with MRTK v2 that's currently out there, but today I'm here to talk to you about MRTK 3. And I want to give you a quick peek at some of our new features. In MRTK 3, we're introducing new interaction design features, such as indirect gaze pinch manipulation, which allows you to perform the same familiar hand interactions while targeting objects with your eyes. No aligning hand raise required. Here, we have our new data binding and theming feature. This allows you to reskin a UI quickly and easily. In MRTK 3, we have a more modular architecture. We've broken down MRTK into over a dozen packages, so now you don't have to bring along all of MRTK to just get the features you're interested in. And we've been working on MRTK internally for over a year, and now we're really excited to open it up to the community and hear your guys' feedback and collaborate with you.
Hello and welcome everyone to Mixed Reality Dev Days. We're so excited to have you here joining us with Learn TV. My name is April Speight and I lead our Spatial Computing Cloud Advocacy team here at Microsoft. Joining today as our co-host is Cassie. Cassie, how are you?
I'm good. I'm super excited to see all the things that we're going to be seeing today.
Yes, me too. So Cassie, could you tell the folks that's tuning in who you are and what you do at Microsoft?
Yeah, so I'm Cassie Breviu and I'm a Senior Technical Program Manager on the AI Frameworks team focusing on a product called Openxr Runtime. And so what that product does is just improve inferencing in multiple ways. So I get to talk about it later too.
Oh, I'm so excited for that. Oh, we're so excited. We actually feel like we met thanks to Mixed Reality as I came and joined our Cloud Advocacy org. I think it's been 2-3 years now, I want to say. So it's been quite the journey. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm just super excited. And so I would say, what are you excited for today that's happening?
Well, there's so many things. I'm excited to learn more about the MRTK 3, so the new version that came out, seeing some of the really awesome features that are there and all the amazing work that people are doing, and the innovative experiences that you can create. I think that's exciting. I'm excited for my talk. I don't know, what are you excited about?
I'm excited for everything. I've had a chance to try out MRTK 3 for the past couple of weeks, and it's been really great. As someone who started out with Mixed Reality, I would say 2019, that was when I first had a taste of MRTK just in general. And so really seeing how things have progressed. Over the past couple of weeks, I've been working on a sample app that will be available to you all here shortly with using MRTK 3 and just giving a chance to learn how to use some of the features for folks who are brand new. And I can say some really great features that are available. I'm excited for all the content that's going to come out of it, all the different apps, all the different ways I can go about streaming and talking to you all about it. So I'm super excited for that just in general. But speaking of mixed reality, I know in itself, it's a relatively kind of new, but not old, but kind of filled. So how did you get into this space?
Actually, so my background before I moved into AI was C#, so I was a full stack web developer.
Yeah.
And I always really liked it. And I went to this conference talk and they had the dev versions of the Windows Mixed Reality headset. And it just blew my mind. And then I was like, I need to get into this. And I bought it. And then, sometimes with side projects, they don't always happen. It sat for a while.
Yeah, it happens.
And then I actually talked to Jesse, who's keynoting today. And I told him I was a C# developer.
Yeah. And
he was like, well, you're already like 80% there. And I was like, no. And he's like, yeah, no, you should. So it was his encouragement that actually got me started in building it. And I love it. It's just everything you can do in VR is just so cool. You can create whatever you can imagine. Yeah. And then with the HoloLens, there's the integrating into your experience and just all of the ways that you can start building on top of our reality. Yeah. But I love hearing experience or how people got into it too. So how did you get into it?
Well, I love telling this story. So for me, it started in, I would say, 2019, as I mentioned. I was in the airport waiting for a delayed flight, as one does at LaGuardia. And we were having an event that summer that Microsoft was hosting. I can't remember which event it was, but the presenter on stage was doing a demo with the HoloLens. And I knew about the HoloLens for sure. But what really grabbed my attention was that that demo did real-time speech translation. So in terms of my background, I did linguistics in undergrad. And so anything around communication, foreign languages and such is like really my thing. And so as soon as I saw that, I hopped on Twitter and I said, what do I need to know to learn how to do that? And then from there, that's pretty much where all the different input and resources came into place. And likewise, connected with Jessie as well, who was able to help with getting started. There's some other folks as well internally that have helped. Aishigel's another person, and she's like really, really big in the web space, I would say. But since then, that I would say would be really how I got started. Unlike you, I didn't have the C# background. At all. I was actually a PM already at Microsoft on Docs, and I had just a Python background. I had just authored a book, and Python was all I knew. So it was really starting from ground up, I would say.
That's so funny because when I started with AI, it's like all Python, and so I was like C# learning AI, learning Python. And yours was the opposite. You were Python learning C#. So that's kind of neat. Like we came from the opposite.
Yeah, we could have switched our heads.
Well, actually, I think it's helpful though because we were able to help each other too. Like it's always good to have people that are an expert in something that you're learning and have those questions.
Yeah, and we've done a project together as well. I know that last year we did a project for Space Jam. And I did the HoloLens version of it, and you did the Babylon JS, and that was a pretty cool experience. But we were able to help each other a lot there too. And I'm excited because our Babylon JS friends will also be here for Dev Days as well. So it'll be nice to hear from them as well. But with that said, we do have the schedule in front of us. Let's go through and see what's happening while we're here. So starting off, we have the keynote coming up. And so you mentioned Jessie's doing the keynote. Joining Jessie is also going to be, I believe, Andrew as well from the Azure remote rendering team. Have you tried out remote rendering?
I have not.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It gives a chance to really be able to join in on a session and all view a model at the same time. We do have an existing Microsoft Learn module. If you all are at home, you're watching Learn TV, but with Microsoft Learn, if you're not familiar with that, it's our platform where you can go and learn and do tutorials. Myself and one of the PMs from the team, we actually authored the remote rendering module on there. So it gives you a chance to get to learn more about that service. But Andrew will be sharing some cool things about remote rendering today, and I think he's going to talk about it a bit during the keynote here, so I won't ruin that surprise for you. And so let's see what else is happening today.
What's the first session? Did we talk about the introduction to MRTK3?
Yeah.
So that's the first session after the keynote, right? And then
and so that'll be Grace as well as Brent, two very cool people. I've worked with them a lot over the past, Brent for sure over the past 2 years, and then Grace most recently. And I think you all at home just saw Grace as we were getting ready to come to us. She did the intro. So she'll be sharing a bit more about MRTK3 as well and what new features are coming. So that should definitely be a cool session to check out. And then the next one that we have, although it's not going to be available streamed, it is going to be in person, but it's StereoKit with Nick Klingensmith. I love being able to speak with Nick. He's really fun.
Super brilliant.
He created StereoKit, and he has just so much more to share with us here today. If you have not tried out StereoKit, I would definitely say give it a try. There's a very fabulous woman who helped create the videos. Her name's April Speight. And so I would say we do have those available on our Mixed Reality YouTube playlist as well. But Nick will be going over more with regards to StereoKit. And it's one of those things where, guess what? You don't need Unity or Unreal. You can do everything in Visual Studio. And so it's a really good alternative if you don't want to have to download an engine and work from there, I would say.
So if I didn't know anything about StereoKit, what's like the like elevator pitch? Like what is it actually? So it's some sort of kit to help me build experiences, but like tell me more, like what does it do? And I know we'll probably learn more about that in his session.
So you can build various different mixed reality experiences. I think for me, one thing I really love the most is that you don't have to necessarily download all the different heavy dependencies that you would typically have to download when you're creating these experiences, because you'll have the NuGet packages. There's templates available, and then from there, once you have that, you're literally opening Visual Studio. And that's really what you need.
That's That's so cool.
And so Nick will definitely be able to share more about that in person. But I would say it's a really good path to travel down as well if you want to give some other things a try too. And I think, was it last year we had a hackathon for a Stereo Kit? So there are some active Stereo Kit users that have been using it for a while, but it's pretty cool to be able to hear some more from him today.
What's after that? Let's see. Unity XR Interaction Toolkit.
Yeah. So yes, I haven't done a great deal, I would say, with that. So that would be presented today by Doreen as well as Dave. So that'll be something cool to check out. That's also going to be in person as well. But it is another way you can create AR and VR apps as well.
So that's a good point, because so a lot of the ones that you're going to see on the live stream, those are both in person, right, and online. But there are also sessions that are not going to be live streamed. So you'll have to check out the videos after the event if you miss one, or some of the ones that were in person but not streamed, and see what you missed out.
Yes, because there's always cool things to check out, I would say. Then after that, we're going to eat, which is nice. But during that eating time frame, we're actually going to come back here and have a nice conversation with Jesse. I know we've mentioned Jesse a bit, and you all will have a chance to see Jesse soon here, but we're going to have a nice conversation with him just to talk about the event so far, and if there's anything cool that comes to mind, I would say, around mixed reality. So if you want to hang out with us around that time frame, I would say definitely tune in to us.
I think it's neat too to kind of get some of the, it's kind of behind the scenes, I feel like, when you talk to Jesse, and learning a little bit more about what's happening here with the community, the people that are connecting, learning from each other, learning from the sessions. And I feel like it's part of being at the event is not only just learning from the sessions, but also meeting the different people in the community and hearing about what they're building, what their problems are, what they want to create, what their visions are, all of those things. And I feel like these type of events are so inspiring for me, because they're so future thinking.
Yes.
We're creating the road as we walk along it is a lot of the ways I think about it.
And I love seeing the demos.
Yeah, of course.
I love seeing demos.
Lots of good demos.
Yeah. So the next thing is going to be getting started with your first MRTK3 project. So that is going to be streamed. And I know when we were looking at the schedule earlier, this one really meant a lot to us, because we kind of remember the first time we used MRTK just in general. And what was that like for you? Do you remember what you made?
Oh gosh, I can remember the coolest thing I made with it. I don't know what the first thing was. I think the first thing, I just kind of was following one of those tutorials, how to add it into Unity, and playing around with different things. But I do remember that I think as soon as I started using it, I think I was like, thank you, brilliant developers, for giving me this tool, because it took so much of the hard work out, of creating the interactions and the events, and it just was, it was really cool to be able to see how quickly I could create something.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things with getting started with mixed reality, and I think a lot of people, is that initial setup and the install and learning kind of the new lingo and all of those different things, which is kind of the same with all types of new technologies when you're learning them.
Yeah, I would say I don't remember exactly 100% what it was that I had created, but what I do recall is when I had first put on, I think it was actually, I had the HoloLens first edition, and brand new to the space. So I kind of didn't know what I was doing. And I deployed, or at least I thought I deployed my project, and I couldn't find the cube that was in the project. Turns out it was in the middle of my head. So I had to go back to the computer and move it so that way I can have it more in front of me. But a lot of what I've done with MRTK are educational experiences. Over in advocacy, one group that we do a lot of engagement with is our academic audience. And so I have a big, super soft spot for teachers in general, professors, instructors. And so I've done various different experiences with MRTK that provides you to actually bring those experiences into the classroom. I would say probably my first kind of fully kind of built one was when I was creating a at-home a tour of monuments. And so I had found some monument models online, and using one of the features at the time, which was our dock, and essentially being able to dock the models around the room. And then as you picked one up, it would expand to like its full size.
So cool.
And it was just cool to be able to just walk around it. But if you think about it, especially at least during the lockdown, like we couldn't go anywhere. Students couldn't take field trips.
Right.
And like, as I'm thinking back to when I was that young, field trips were like the highlight, well, part of the highlight of being in school. But being able to bring those experiences at least into a classroom setting now that we are able to return to having classes in person, and being able to do things like that with, let's say, MRTK, it's pretty great. And even though I had built that one for HoloLens, what I love about MRTK is that it's not just for HoloLens, because I could take that same experience and put it into VR as well. And so being able to use MRTK in either of those ways, also, I've seen mobile use cases as well. But just being in tune with more providing those academic experiences and really leveraging ways that we can use MRTK to make those really feature rich and really fun and engaging. That's what I've done a lot of. And I would say I'm just more excited for that, because as time goes on with MRTK3, I'll be doing a lot more of that, I would say.
I love the educational opportunities within like AR and VR. And actually my son had a VR club at his school. And one of the teachers had like, I think it was class VR, but they were able to create a really immersive learning experience when they were learning about whales. So it was really cool to, like, I remember, you know, sometimes you get bored, these flat pictures in school and they're talking, but when you have a headset on and the whale is like in front of you, it totally changes your perspective. And I feel like from an educational standpoint, there's so much possibility.
And I would say for those of you who are probably wondering, like, I want to try MRTK, you know, even in VR, because usually we at these events, you know, we talk about the HoloLens a lot, but because there is the ability to use with other devices, I will say that there will definitely be some tutorials that'll be coming very soon over into Docs for you all to actually try out samples that will show you how you can use MRTK in VR, or more so at least how to set the project up. Because once you do the project setup, you're pretty much good from there. You can continue to build your project the way you want. I think that's really just the one hurdle once you get over there, but we take you through the entire process so that way it's a nice, smooth experience, hopefully for everyone.
And I love, like, that's my first place when I want to learn a new technology, like find a tutorial, go to the Docs. I joke, like, because I built my first machine learning model, like with Microsoft Docs using like the Azure Machine Learning Designer, which is now called, it's called the Designer now. And same with mixed reality though. I went to the Docs and I started going through the tutorials, and I always say, like, when you're getting started, starting with a goal is good, but having a tutorial gives you a goal, right? And it explains things for you, so you're not just building things, you're also understanding what you're building. So it's a really good way to get started with different projects.
Yeah, it definitely really helps. And then from there, we also have Nick. He'll be speaking about StereoKit. So I did mention that earlier. His session's going to be in person on how to build a mixed reality app with StereoKit. And so again, for those of you who are tuning in at home, I would say we do have, as I mentioned, there's some videos that Nick and I collaborated on last year that'll give you an idea of how to create an app with mixed reality. But the video on demand videos post mixed reality dev days is also going to be something that I would say tune into as well, so you can learn how to create. He's created, he has a sample that he created where you can get the painter's palette, the artist palette, whatever it's called.
I know.
And then you can actually like draw and stuff. So that's pretty cool. So there's that.
3D art is amazing. Like, I love that when you can actually be inside of it. And even like when my nieces and nephews are over, they have so much fun running around the room, like painting it. And so that's a really cool way to also, like, a new way of being creative. And creativity is so important for like brain development and things like that. So I love those types of projects that just start making you think. And there's even that artist that's doing all that 3D art. I don't know her name, but I see her on Twitter all the time. Do you know what I'm talking about? She like does like whole performances while like making these elaborate VR paintings.
Oh, it's amazing. So after that, we do have updates on Openxr for mixed reality. And I would say, so when I started out, I didn't know anything about Openxr. And I think now that's becoming more of the standard. It's great to see we're getting some updates. But what I really love about it is that I can go ahead and create my app, you know, for HoloLens, let's say. And then from there, I can then go deploy to my VR headset if I want instead, or I can deploy over into mobile. And so having Openxr is really going to help with that. We do have updates being shared today from Yin as well as Alex for Openxr. And after that, we're going to get into some MRTK3 interaction building blocks. And oh, I love building blocks from
What are the building blocks?
MRTK3.
Tell me, what is that?
Yeah, so there's just so many different, do we call them features or components that comes with MRTK, various different prefabs, as well as some scripts to help provide those interactions for your app. So rather than creating something like a button, let's say from scratch, or really being tied to the default button prefabs, let's say that Unity gives you if you're working in Unity, we have MRTK buttons, for example, and they're fully configured. You add your on-click event to it, your button event onto it, and then you can have whatever action happens. So there's something like that. There's bounds control as well, so you can have those bounding boxes around your objects. They're really great because it lets people know, it gives them a visual cue that, hey, this thing is interactable. Speaking of interactable, we have the object manipulator. And so these are all like current ones that we've had in terms of building blocks, but even with like object manipulator, that makes gives you the ability to actually manipulate objects. So that way I can actually go pick up whatever this thing is in my scene.
And that's how you pick it up and move it around.
That's how you can pick it
like
up and you can start moving it. And the great thing is, it's literally, if you're in Unity at least, you're adding the component to the object. And as long as it has a collider, you know, you can collide with it, pick it up and do whatever. So in general, our building blocks, and there's so many more, that was just like 3, I would say, that came to mind. But they're really there to help with accelerating your mixed reality development. And I would say it definitely has sped up a lot of time when I'm creating things, especially someone who started out just so brand new a couple years ago, didn't know really how to do some of the interactions I saw, but with MRTK, it really does help accelerate that. And so today, Finn and Roger, they'll be going through the interaction building blocks that are available in there. And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So it makes me think that whenever I start, all the lingo is different in like different languages, right? So like I think of the C# controls, you know, you have your buttons and your things like that. So the building blocks for our C# web developers, if there's any people that are new, right, and thinking about it, I'll be your translator into the C# lingo. No.
Yes, official translator. We love it. So we have some more happening from StereoKit after that. We do have a conversation or the session from Jeff on Unreal Engine. Have you used Unreal?
I have, actually, and Unreal Engine 5. I was actually using the pre-release and had to, so I just started with Unreal, though, so I was mainly using Unity before that. And then actually Onyx Runtime and Epic Games partnered together to create a neural network inference plugin. So I went from never using Unreal to having like the download and build it locally and using like the pre-release stuff. And it was really fun. I really like it. And that's actually what my talk is about.
Yeah, I was going to say about your talk. So that'll be really cool to check out. Let's see. And then, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so my talk, should I talk about what my talk is?
Yeah, tell us more about your talk.
It's not live
we're heading right into talking about it. So tell us more about your talk.
You'll have to wait. It's like a little bit of you'll have to be kind of mysterious and wait for the thing to come out. But basically, we are going to be running deep learning models using the new plugin, experimental plugin in Unreal Engine 5 to actually change the style of your scene real time with machine learning.
Oh, that's cool. Can you give us a brief example?
Yeah, so a lot of people may have heard of like the machine learning models that are like a Van Gogh painting or something like that, and you're able to take a picture and apply that style to it.
Oh, okay.
So those are called style transfer models. And they're convolutional neural networks that are trained to basically create a specific type of style. So you give it a painting or examples, and then it uses transfer learning to then learn that style and then apply it to an image. So the way that you do that with mixed reality or Unreal is that you're actually grabbing the scene and creating material and inferencing on that and then applying it.
Oh, that sounds cool. I think everyone, well, those who are here in person will definitely get a chance to see what you've created firsthand. But for those of you who will tune into the video on demand, I'm sure you're going to have something really nice to look at, I would say in general.
I think it's fun.
But
I might be biased. So.
No, I think it's fun too. I've done some work with even just our cognitive services with mixed reality. A lot of translating. Translating's my thing. Speech, anything that communicate is usually my thing. Doing some object detection as well, recognition I've done. Believe it or not, also with power apps and the mixed reality controls that are in there. I've done some things in there. I found a really cool tutorial online to get an idea of how to classify just objects around my desk using an app built in Power Apps, but the mixed reality controls that are in there as well. So it's just really cool once you're able to bring in a bit more of like that AI side of things.
Yes.
It can really
better together.
Yeah.
Did you see the build demo that they did with Mesh, Babylon JS, and the codecs? They were doing, so they're using cognitive services to actually take the text of what people were saying while they were in Microsoft Mesh. And then they were taking those and sending it to a codex model, which if you're not familiar with those, they can write code. So they're the large language models that have been trained specifically to write code. And they were able to then generate Babylon JS code and apply things to the scene. So they were in the like virtual experience, speaking, and then getting back, they were asking for different mesh objects, and it was just so cool what they're able to start doing with AI and XR together.
Oh, that reminds me. I saw a really cool demo this year. This year, I was a mentor and one of the judges for MIT Reality Hack, and one of the groups, they had created this app that as you were saying what you wanted to be in the scene, it would kind of output, it would create this like environment around you based on what you were saying. So like, let's say I started the story off saying, I went for a walk on the beach. And then from there, the however way they had programmed it, it would output pretty much the next line of the story. And then in front of you, visually, the scene would start changing, and it will start creating like a beach scene. Like, it was crazy. Like,
that is so cool.
Yeah, like it was amazing, but it's really awesome the things that you can do with AI. And I'm really hoping we can see a bit more of that this year, though. As we start ramping up on some more content.
That's one of the things I'm actually talking about in my talk as well, is like, what are the cool deep learning models that are out there? Because a lot of it's so experimental right now. Like, it's not really things that people are deploying. And because it's experimental, you always don't necessarily get the inference result that you're expecting because it's experimental, right? And so a lot of the cool things that we're seeing when it comes to deep learning and XR are very much like what is possible. And so, I'm going to talk about some of those in my talk as well.
That's what I really love about being in this space, because I feel like there's really like no limitations. I feel like when it comes to programming, when I was focusing more on Python, there's the rules that are in place, and you really can't really expand beyond like what Python is. It is what it is. You can create a lot of cool things, but you're not really adding too much more on top of the language. Within mixed reality, though, or XR, or however you want to phrase it, there's just so much possibility. There's really like sky's the limit. And you can just do so many things, especially when we even start talking about the ability to do things like reading like brain waves and emotions. Have you seen any apps that folks have created that does that?
I haven't seen the apps, but I actually have I have a MindWave and EEG.
Oh, that's cool. You have one of those.
Yeah. So I think it's really neat, just like the whole BCI, like brain computer interaction stuff, and like where things are going with that. We're not like ready for like we're not cyborgs yet. Right. But there's some really neat innovations happening there, and like just the different headsets that you can put on and then read out, like, and it can know if you're thinking right or left, or I've seen it like control drones and like that kind of thing. So
there's just so many possibilities. And then the last thing that we have as well that we're going over today is building rich UI for mixed reality and MRTK3. And so Finn and Yoon will be speaking more to that, and that's where we're going to have a bit more of a taste of things from a user interface perspective, and just visually some of the differences that you all will take note of with MRTK3. So I'm pretty excited for that. I think it looks very beautiful, I would say, from a lot of what I've seen. I think we're all pretty much used to how things have been from a visual aesthetic, I would say, with regards to MRTK, like 2.7, for example. With MRTK3, I like the direction that it's heading in, I would say.
I feel like the design and style and like experience, like their experiences, virtual reality, augmented reality, XR, we're building experiences. So the design and the way things work and how the styling of them is important to the experience.
Yes, absolutely. So this is going to be a really fun day. For those of you who might miss our faces, we'll be here. And so in between the sessions, we're going to chat, and we're going to hang with some folks as well today here on the couch and speak more to them about what's happening in mixed reality, as well as how things are going with mixed reality dev days. And so I mentioned we will have a conversation with Jessie later around lunchtime. And then also Grace will also be joining us from the MRTK team as well. And we'll have a conversation with her. And I'm excited for that. I'm really, I know I keep saying I'm excited, but I think that's like the way I can describe how I'm feeling right now, because it's so great to be able to get a chance to, for one, be here in person now, being able to connect with a lot of folks who I've gotten to get a chance to get to know over the past 2 years online from just the various virtual events we've done, but being able to be with everyone that's here from the community, I think that it means, to me, it means a lot. It really means a lot.
And in person, like, to actually see people again in person is really, it's really exciting.
Absolutely.
Like, I've been so excited to hug people again.
Yes, I know.
I wasn't that big of a hugger like before the pandemic, but now I'm like, come on in. You know, obviously, of course, if people want it.
Yes, of course. So again, Mixed Reality Dev Days today and tomorrow. Cassie and I will be here. We'll be hosting the event, and we'll be hopefully showing some cool stuff, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. But other than that, I would say, anything I would say you would share for the folks at home, Cassie, that you're looking forward to most?
So what is the stereo kit looks really, really cool. And I have not actually seen any demos on it. So and it's C# focused, although I read you can use C++ as well.
Yes,
so
that is also an option as
well.
So
you can use all of the things. So definitely excited for seeing how that actually works. As like a dev, I like to see how to get my hands dirty. I like to see how things work and how I can actually go in and start using things. And that's what really kind of inspires me to see what I'm going to build.
Yes, and I'm excited for everyone to just see what's new with MRTK3. I'm excited to see what the community creates. I think seeing a lot of what the community creates makes me really happy and gives me a lot of inspiration as well, just to see how MRTK is going to be applied to so many different apps that are that folks are working on. So I'm excited for you all to see what the team has been working on. They've been working very hard, I would say, over the past, has it been months? So so that'll be good. So
Oh, the other thing I was going to say is that connect with us on social.
Yes.
Also, we'll be checking that out, and let's see what Jessie has to say.